Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. What's your guys' ideal Father's Day look like?
Kids listening to us?
Yeah. Are you a different parent to a son versus a daughter?
I'm not going to lie, but I do have soft spots for my daughter.
Yeah.
She's my daughter.
Are you parented in a more strict way? Or are you parenting in a more strict way?
We used to get slaps.
Bussin'?
TBD, toilet, wrist, pookie.
You go home, you can tell your wife, hey, you're my pookie.
Yeah, I won't be doing that.
What's it like being a dad? Take a bite if you've said I love you to your wife in the last week.
I need to go back home.
Take a bite if your wife is the boss of your house. Not a big bite. It's okay. It's okay. When can kids start dating?
Nothing off topic. Brought to you by Bloom.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of our cross-generational podcast, Nothing's Off Topic. This is sponsored by Bloom Youth Development, and I just want to thank every single one of you that has been watching and subscribing over the last week. We've gotten so much love on Instagram, on our YouTube channel, on TikTok, just everywhere, and I appreciate all the love you guys are giving us, and thank you for all the support and the feedback as well. Now, the hope for these episodes, guys, is we want to make sure that they're digestible for you guys going to work. Maybe when you're going to school, you can listen to them. Or even as a family, you can sit down for dinner and watch the episode and have a laugh together. So I don't want to waste too much time with the intro. Let's go ahead and introduce our guest for today. I'm super excited to welcome the very first time where we have adults on the podcast. It's two young, dashing gentlemen, and they both happen to be Bloom parents. I've known them both for about a year now. And there's so many things that I have to say about them, but just to make it easy and short, I'll stick to one quick fact. First person I want to talk about here is going to be Amit. Amit is the guy that always has a smile on his face. He's the person that is super exciting all the time and it's great to hang around him. And the reason for that, I feel like, is because he's also a part-time DJ as a dad. And that's so cool. So welcome, Amit, on the podcast.
Same here, excited to be here.
Fantastic. And on the other side, we've got Muhammad. Muhammad is a guy with positive energy. But my favorite thing about Muhammad is I love having a conversation with him, not because of the things that we talk about, but mainly because he's got a British accent. So, Muhammad, thanks for coming on the podcast. Every time I talk to you, I feel like I'm talking to royalty.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, all jokes aside, guys. I'm just excited to have you guys both here today. And I know it's especially a Father's Day weekend. So I guess we'll kind of start off with that. Do you guys have any plans for Father's Day? Or are they a surprise?
Well, you should ask my kids. What are they planning for us? But yeah, we'll probably may go out somewhere or do some barbecues.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, similar answer. I have no idea. I don't know what my kids have got planned. I have absolutely no idea. So
Okay, fair.
we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. And usually I feel like it is a surprise for dads because they're just, let me plan something from the morning to the evening and they'll do something. But I want to get right into it, guys, okay? So bear with me. But what's your guys' ideal Father's Day look like? So don't give me I love to spend time with my kids. Yes, you guys are great dads. We know that. But what's your ideal? Like, what's the Amit day? What's the Muhammad day? What would you love to do?
Kids listening to us?
Yeah. I just leave it to us and do everything, take care of all the chores. We just sit and enjoy with beer and some barbecues.
There you go.
Yeah, sit back, enjoy, relax. Kids doing all the chores, doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I find kids these days, they don't really do things that they're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
And they want to do things that they want to do, right?
That's interesting. Okay. Well, what would you, if you got that time back from not doing all these things that you're doing right now, what would you do with that time? How would you just hang out and have fun? What's your thing?
You want to go ahead?
I'd probably say sit down, watch a movie, maybe
Yeah.
some sports, cricket or something. Just relax on the couch, ice cream, you know, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, same here. Pretty much doing that, or probably sometimes spending on my mixes for my new mixes on the YouTube channel. That's it.
Okay, very cool. I'm going to link that, guys, in the link here. So you guys check out his DJ channel. It's super awesome. I'd be lying if I said I didn't listen to his mixes in my free time. So check that out for sure. Okay, so look, last time we had kids come on the podcast and we talked a lot about their perspectives, what they think about life, how they, look at life in a certain perspective. For you guys, I want to dive into what it's like being you because I've never been you and I think I have a lot to learn and understand from your perspective. So, and I guess a sentence, if you were to tell me, just to get into this topic overall, what's it like being a dad?
For me, I think it's like living two lives. One before being a dad, that's completely different experience with different mindset and different goals.
Yeah.
But then once after you become dad, then your whole focus shifts towards your kids, and then raising them in the right manner, and then making sure that am I doing the right thing or not, so that I'm raising them properly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. Being a father, it is a life-changing experience. It's something that when you become a father, that feeling, you cannot recreate that feeling because it's like, wow, I'm a dad now.
Yeah.
Right. And I speak when obviously my daughter was born. She's my firstborn. It was different. And then obviously I had a second. I have a girl and a boy.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, I got a complete family now.
Yeah.
And obviously when they're kids, it's great. But you watch them and you cherish the moments, they grow up, and then obviously now they're teenagers, which is a completely different ballgame. Yeah.
There are different challenges as you kind of go through the ages.
100%. Yeah, different challenges.
Okay. Well, here, listen, I hear this, when people you ask them hey, what was the best moment of your life? It's like, oh, when I had my first child, that was such a cool moment. Like, obviously it's not like nothing else that you go through as a person, but you guys, sometimes even with my own dad, I see him as a dad. Like sometimes you don't humanize your parents, if that makes sense, because they didn't have a life before me. It's me, and that's their life, and that's kind of who you see them as a kid, right? So I'm not sure. Like what I'm trying to get at is, after you found out you're going to be parents, what are some adjustments you guys made to your lifestyle, or you and your spouse made with your lifestyle overall?
You want to go? Just share. I mean, certainly there will be adjustments in the lifestyle, because before kids, you're free to go anywhere, sleep at any time that you like, wake up late, hang out with anyone who you want to, go out. But then after kids, it's like now your whole day is centered around managing your kids, like making sure they are going to the school on time, getting their food ready, and then taking them out for their activities. So your whole schedule is centered around that.
Yeah. Okay. So you're kind of living for yourself in the beginning, but then you end up eventually kind of living for your family or for your kids.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe the first 5 years is pretty much, it's scheduling, right? It's like, okay, somebody's invited you to an event.
Yeah.
And do you go? Do you not go? Right? If you go, then you got to pack supplies, right? Baby food, diapers, wipes, that kind of stuff goes in the bag. Car seats, things like that.
The survival kit, yeah.
Survival kit, basically.
Yeah.
And then the forever, obviously, you're picking up the car seat, right? Going from one place to the other, and you're trying to focus on things like that. You got to get there early. You end up getting there late. Everyone, you leave early from the event, and it's like, why are you leaving early? Well, we got to go to bed. Exactly. The kid has to go to bed. It's a tough situation. I think the first 5 years is pretty much all scheduling and planning and things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's the adjustment that we've certainly made is just making sure things are in a sequence or in a schedule. I have to do this, otherwise this is going to happen.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
You're like over prepared in your brain.
Right? You have to. Or you got to overthink. It's like work, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay. Well, that's what I was going to get at, right? Like, do you think there's a way, like for new parents or anybody that's about to have kids, is there a way you can actually prepare for parenting, or do you think it's just you get in there, you figure it out? Like, is there a way to actually prepare to do this the right way?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any manual out there or anything else to prepare you. It's just, like I said earlier, the feeling of becoming a father or a parent, it just happens. It cannot be recreated. And, there's no book. There's no guidelines. Yeah, sure, you can read a whole bunch of stuff and articles, and you can talk to a friend and say, hey, you recently became a father. What was it like?
Yeah.
They're going to share with you maybe the bad experiences, and then they'll share some positives. But I don't certainly feel there's a manual. Like, I'm in.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's any set instructions that you have to do this or that. Life teaches you everything.
Yeah, you just figure it out as you go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, like you talked about it, like your life changes drastically from being that 20, 25, 30-year-old, whatever you were before you had kids, And then from there, you're a dad, that switch happens and now you're taking care rather than, again, like you said, living for yourself to some extent.
Right.
So I'm going to ask the same question to my kids later on, but I want to ask you guys first, okay? On the screen up here, you're going to see 5 categories of your life, all right? And I want you to prioritize them from most important to least important today. Like in your life today, which one of these is the most to the least important? One of you, whoever wants to go first. Okay. So we got family, work, money, health, and social life.
I would say at this stage of my life, of course, family is number 1 priority.
Yeah.
Then comes health. Then comes money and work. I would say money and work, they're like together.
Okay.
And then the social life.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, I'd probably be inclined to do the same thing. So 1 is family, and then number 4 would be health, and then number 3 would be money. Well, actually, number 3 would probably be work because I would have to be employed for money to come in. So
Yeah.
number 4 would be money, and then lastly would be social life.
Okay.
Yeah.
For both of your kids, you guys know them well, obviously. What will be their first thing from this list, do you think?
For them, money.
That's crazy. Why do you say that?
Because that's what they know today. Like, okay, if I have money, I can buy nice clothes.
Yeah.
I can go out, eat food, hang out with my friends.
It would be money, then social life, for sure.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Money and social life. Yeah.
Was that the same thing for you when you were their age?
Probably, yeah. I would, if I say, at least for me, money for sure. Like, because I'm starting my career, and my aims were like, okay, I need to earn a lot of money so that I get a home for myself and get a family started. So money, and then social was again another important aspect, because that time I used to hang out with my friends a lot of time.
Yeah.
Spend less time on the family side.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I started working when I was 15, and it was a part-time job.
Yeah.
Obviously, growing up, being the eldest in the family, I was the first grandson as well, first son in the family as well, and it was a lot of responsibilities. So I sort of had to set an example. You know, I've got 3 siblings, 3 sisters, so it was, get out there, get some money coming in. At the same time, yes, I had a lot of social life as well. I spent a lot of time with my friends, hanging out, playing pool, snooker, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever kids do those days.
Yeah.
And then I guess family would come in. Yeah, so I'd probably say similar line. Yeah.
Okay. And you hope that they have the same kind of shift. And I feel like life gives you that shift naturally, right? From like the prioritization of money and things like that to eventually family and whatever.
Yeah, I hope so, because I'm on both my kids' cases right now to get their resumes updated and get them out this summer for a part-time job.
Yeah.
I feel that once income starts coming in, they'll sort of understand and value the value for money. They'll respect it.
Yeah.
And then obviously, every 10 seconds, Dad, can you buy me this? Can you get me that? That would kind of alleviate a little bit,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I kind of agree with that. Like my son, he's 21 now.
Yeah.
And he started doing internships. So in a way, he starts earning some money in that from that. So I've seen a change in his perspective. Like previously, when he was a student, like school, going into elementary school, money was not that. He did not understand the value for the money, right? But now, when I tell him like, okay, you're going to your university, let me buy you an iPad, and he says, no, that's fine. I'll take care of it. I started earning, and I want to buy something on my own. And I said like, okay, why not I buy a car for you? Like, because you have to walk or take bus. He said, no, if I buy a car, I'll buy it from my own money.
Yeah. And that must be an exciting thing to kind of see. Like you've done the same thing with your parents, I'm sure. But then when you start seeing that from the other perspective, it's like, it's nice because you've done the right thing to get them to that stage, right? It kind of kudos to you guys. And what is that like when the kid, I feel like it's hard. I don't know. My perspective, I feel like it's hard for the parents to some extent, but also kind of a proud moment. But when your kid kind of starts not detaching, but getting that independence, how does that feel? I mean, you more so because your son's a bit older, but still in different capacities.
Yeah, I mean, independence, like now that they are grown up and they are taking care of their own tasks. So we don't have to worry that much. We don't need to be around them 24 hours.
Yeah.
So we have some time for ourselves now. But when they were younger, definitely having an independent life was difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, mine too. They're not working right now, but independence obviously is a big thing. You know, taking care of their own breakfasts and things like that, or making breakfast for us, which is, you know, it's happening. It's going on right now. Sometimes, you know, breakfast is already made. It's there. It's ready.
Yeah.
Like this morning, you know, I had food already on the table. Jakub had made for me, but he was eager to get out, right? So we could be on the move, but definitely, independence for sure. Yeah,
okay,
it's a good feeling.
Very cool. I'm glad we kind of went down that rabbit hole. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, so now I'm going to shift to a little bit of parenting in general. We kind of on there, but I'm going to get a bit more particular on it. Okay. Obviously I'm getting out of that point of like I have almost full independence. I feel like from my parents at this point, financially speaking, whether it's kind of how much you have to parent me, things like that. So I am now I have this retrospect of like, hey, I know I can see the tricks that my parents kind of used back in the day to kind of parent me or kind of get me to do the right or bad thing, right? So I think in my life, my dad and my mom have specific roles to an extent. Like one is a good cop, one is a bad cop. For you guys, who's the good and who's the bad cop when parenting?
For on our side, my wife has been playing that bad cop role, and I've been playing the good cop role. So I try to pacify things down. But my wife, because she has to, especially like when the kids were young, and they'd pay less attention towards their eating habits.
Yeah.
And my wife has always been like, you don't eat healthy stuff. You always want all the junk food. And why? So she starts putting some rules around it, and they get into some difficult situations and fighting with each other. And that's where I have to go and then calm them down and then maintain that balance. So I play like a good cop and she plays a bad cop.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. Yes, wife would be bad cop and I would be good cop. But I feel that depending on the item, the nature of the task, depending on what it is, it could be vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? It could be something where it's something that's more inclined to them and they've already been to one parent.
Yeah.
And the answer's been yes or no, and they've gone to the other parent.
Yeah.
Not necessarily informing the other parent of they've already spoken to the spouse.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, no. And then it becomes a conflict.
Right.
And I feel the kids these days try to play that smart card where they try to undermine and, and it's like, well, I know what you're doing. I've been there. I've done that. It's it's a tactic.
And kids, we don't think that. We don't, again, see our parents as like they were also kids one day. They did the same things we're trying to do and play that same card, right? But that's funny. You're right, like 100%. I feel like I did the same thing. And then, I get to the point now where like I've had that conversation with my parents saying, we're on the same page. I know what you're doing. You know what I'm doing. Let's just not do it. We're fine. We're on the same page. I get it. Okay, so on that note, I feel like typically dads are the good cop, depending on the topic. I feel like more intense and serious things, the dad's the bad cop, the mom's the good cop. Like more serious topics like, hey, can I go on a 5-day vacation with my friends or whatever? That's where like, hey, go ask your dad.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. And then when it's like, hey, mom, like, can I get this quick thing or quick ones? I feel like the mom is a bad cop and the dad's a good cop. And I think that's a general overall rule. But for you guys, next life, let's say, if you had the choice of being the mom or the dad, what would you want to be? You want to continue being the father or the mother?
I enjoy being father.
Yeah, I agreed. I'd still be a father. I don't think anything would change that way.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mother's role is different. Father's role is different, right? So,
yeah. Okay. Because what happens there is like, there's times where like I'll go to my mom and I'll be like, hey mom, I want this. Can I do this? I'll quickly ask her without my dad being there. Or my mom will come and tell me, hey, just tell me, don't worry. I won't tell your dad. And then I confide in her. I trust her. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so this is what happened. Or this is what's going on. I be honest. Do you tell the spouse behind the kid's back? Like if I tell you, don't tell mom, would you tell mom?
So it depends on the situation again. Sometimes if it is not of a serious nature, then we tend to keep that trust relationship going on between us.
Yeah.
But if there are things that we see it's it's really going to cause harm in future to that kid, then for sure I'm going to share that with my wife, and then we try to then see how we can start bring the things together down and start creating a strategy.
Yeah, same comment. It's the same. It's a situation, right?
Yeah.
If it warrants that you have to inform the spouse, then you inform the spouse. But if it's something where it's a minor thing, then it doesn't need to be. Nothing needs to be mentioned.
Because I feel like it takes certain times to build that trust. Like initially, my mom would say that. She's like, "Oh, I'm your friend. You can tell me anything you want to tell me." And I'm like, "Oh, no, maybe not." Like, I feel like you have to try like small things, take those small risks of trust. And then like, okay, she's actually not telling that. Let me kind of keep going. And it's not because you don't want the dad to know. The kids feel like the dad's going to react a certain way or the mom's going to react a certain way with different things. Yeah. So it's that fear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So, because you both have a son and a daughter.
Right.
Right. And you, again, they're opposite. So your son is younger. Amit, your son is older. Are you a different parent to a son versus a daughter to some extent?
I mean, I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because there's certain responsibilities for a son in terms of, taking care of things in the home when the father's not around.
Yeah.
Right? Different types of responsibilities. But no, in a sense that, they're obviously equal as well. So, the love and the excitement, the share is the same between them. And often, you get asked, who do you love the most? Is it your daughter or is it your son? Well, it's like, that's a silly question because they're my kids at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And obviously, I'm not going to lie, but I do have soft spots for my daughter.
Yeah.
She's my daughter.
100%.
Right. It's a father sort of figure. And, in the future, at some point, she would be going to her own home.
Yeah.
Whereas my son would be my backbone, right? And the support that I need, to kind of lift myself up, when I'm not able to. So that's the way I've been brought up. That's the way I've been taught. So I'd kind of tend to leave that legacy with him, for that sake. But
I couldn't agree more. I mean, whatever he said, it's the same thing here. Like, definitely we love both son and daughter.
Yeah.
But especially being a father, you have that close connection with daughter.
Yeah.
And my son is more attached to his mother.
Yeah.
So he shares all his secrets with mom, and my daughter shares all her secrets with me. So that anyways it's a special bonding. Yeah. But otherwise, I mean, there's no more or less love in between them. So
yeah, I think that's in every house. I think the son always feels a bit more closer to the mom, and the daughter's always a bit closer to them. Me and my sister, same deal. I feel like that's the case where I'm like, oh my God, like she has that relationship where like she can say certain things and I can't, or like I can say certain things to my mom and my sister can't. Like it's like there is this. It's not a bad thing. It's just how it naturally is, and I think that's where you have to take your own roles and work together as a team to kind of keep parenting the kids, right?
Right.
Cool. This is going to be a fun one. This is what I want to know from every parent all the time.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Do you think that you are more or less strict than your parents were on you compared to your kids? Like, were you parented in a more strict way, or are you parenting in a more strict way?
I think I was parented more in a strict way.
Yeah.
Because that time the generation was different, and we used to get slaps if we don't do things right.
Yeah.
We used to get beatings. But I hardly remember when we slapped our kids. So
Exactly.
So the worst we do is ground them by doing something or restricting them from not doing something.
Yeah.
But in terms of strictness, I think my parents were more stricter.
Yeah.
110%. It's the generation of that time was just completely different. It was, my dad would give me an eye look. And as soon as my dad looked at me or my mom looked at me, I know I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Today, the eye look doesn't work with anybody. Today, they think you're playing eye jokes or making funny faces with your, it doesn't work. But it's today's generation is completely different. And I think parenting is different. And I think that's because of the times have changed completely, right?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my next question. It's also when you say that, it was going to be, do you, both of you, every dad has that Like if you're in a public setting and the kid does something they're not supposed to do, that look is it. Like that gets the job done. Do you have that look?
I don't think. I mean, we try to give that look, but I don't think it works out.
Yeah, we
At least
try.
for me.
Yeah, we try. I try too, but you just maybe catch the eye, and then you'll get something back going, what? Is everything all right? Like, it's kind of like the nod. I'm like, what are you doing?
You don't understand it. Yeah, they're not getting the memo.
They don't. Yeah, it doesn't work these days. It doesn't work. It's
It's not as powerful anymore.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. Yeah. I think until I feel like I still had that look. I was scared about it, but I think now with my sister, for example, that look doesn't really work. Like I think as the years have gone by, the look has gotten weaker and weaker and weaker. Yeah. Okay. All right. So listen, what I want to do now is have a quick little parenting segment here, where I'm going to ask you a rapid fire round of random things of when can kids. When can kids do this?
Okay.
Your answer has to be an age. That's it. What's the ideal age for kids to do this or have this or whatever? Okay.
Tough one.
All right.
So you want to go ahead first?
Doesn't matter. We can bounce off of each other.
Okay, I'll start off easy. We'll get a little crazy, but we'll start off easy. When can kids get their first phone? What's the right age?
I say teenage, because that's where they start needing that a phone so that they can start contacting their parents when they're away.
Yeah, maybe a little bit later than the teen. I'm going to say maybe around 15 or 16.
Okay.
I know kids these days, in general, they get phones like very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quick. And I think it's a little bit too early, but I think 15, 16 is a good age.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to go on too deep into these because there's a lot left, but I'm going to go quick rounds here. So tell me an age and we'll keep going. Okay. When can kids stay home alone for the first time?
16.
I would say, around 15, 16.
Okay. When can kids start having social media? Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever.
18.
Okay.
Agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. When can kids start spending money without asking?
18.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Okay. When can kids get a lock on their room?
I would say again 18, adult.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Okay. When can kids have their first sleepover with a friend?
That they do it from when they're a kid.
Yeah, maybe like even younger than teen. Maybe
Okay.
like 10, 12 or something.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, for sure. When can kids decide if they want to start coming to a family event or say no and stay at home?
They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice.
Even after they're married, they cannot say that.
You're coming. Okay. I'll end off on a scary one. When can kids start dating?
No comment.
You don't want to leak that answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll skip over that. Very cool. Okay, awesome. So look, that's a lot of rules for you guys, obviously, for the kids side, and every parent has their own rules. My parents had mine, and you guys have their. That's perfectly right, right? Let's say life switched for a second, and your kids became your parents. What rule do you think they would give you guys to follow from what you guys have seen at home?
No devices.
They would tell you that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. What do you usually spend your time on with the device? Like, what do you mainly do?
No, I meant in a sense that, because we tell them no devices, put your devices away, especially on the dinner table.
Yeah.
When you're eating, they probably say the same thing to us as well, like no devices, same kind of reenactment.
Okay.
But I mean, I try not to spend time on my phone when I'm with them. But if I'm in the middle of something and it's really, really important and I'm doing it, I find that they come and they'll talk to you.
Yeah.
They'll ask you for something, and just to kind of like, hey, go away. They'll go away and they're like, well, I asked you earlier and you said you could do it.
Yeah.
I said, no, you didn't.
My sister does that all the time. It's called gaslighting. You know what gaslighting means?
It's a new term for me.
No?
No.
Gaslighting is basically like, she'll say to my mom, no, I told you that. I did tell you. You don't remember that? Oh, you're getting old. That's just what it is. So it's like you're gaslighting the person saying, oh no, I told you. Now you forgot, that's not my fault. I'm still going to go out. Right? It's sneaky. I'm sure you had your own word for it, but that's what we call gaslighting now.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, these days, like they have so many new terms which we don't even understand.
Yeah, that's what I want to get to in just a second. Before I do that, I had one more question on the parenting thing. And this is, again, You guys say whatever you want, but a lot of the times I asked these, to my kids last time, and I asked them, when your parents are parenting you, do you want them to tell you what to do or do what they want you to do? So for example, parents will be like, hey, spend less time on your phone, for example. But then the dad or the mom is on their phone all the time. Or like, hey, go to sleep early, but the parents stay awake till 12, 1 o'clock, right? So the kids are like, you should always do as you say, right? So if they do it, I'll follow it because that's the rule in the home. Everyone's doing it. It's a powerful parenting technique. I feel like the kids mentioned that. I feel like you guys would also agree, right? What's one habit that you guys have that you don't want to pass on to your kids? You hope your kids don't pick that up from you.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I don't know. It's really hard to think about that. But I have a habit. I'm more of a late night person. So I stay awake. I can do a lot of work at night, but then I don't wake up early. Okay. So I don't want that habit to be passed on to my kids. I mean, I want them to follow a sleep schedule.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. That's fine.
I mean, I sleep late, but to get more work done. But I also can get up early in the morning as well. Sometimes get sleep deprived, but I would probably want my kids to focus more on a healthy diet. I think just a balanced, healthy eating. I'm not saying I don't eat unhealthy. I do eat healthy, but I do have a soft spot for cookies, as you can see there. So, but maybe less sugar intake, to be balanced. Yeah,
100%. That's fair. And the thing is, we have to understand as kids, or anyone as kids, like parents aren't perfect. They're also humans. There are certain things that, they tell you to do, but again, they're also learning. They're growing up at the same time. They're also trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong. Because there's a lot of things that we're learning as we go through as a human race altogether, that this is right, this is wrong. And certain things that you were taught to follow are obviously now, we realize, hey, maybe I should change that habit, which it's been ingrained in you for so long, it's hard to change. But I guess, parents out of love and care, they tell the kids, do this, trust me. I know I'm not doing it maybe, but I'm trying to do the same thing I'm telling you to do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Okay. I'm excited for this one. Okay, so on the screen on there, I'm going to pull up, you were just talking about gaslighting, right?
Whoa.
So
Hey,
I'm going to pull up Gen Z slang. So what I want you to do one by one, you can go alternating. We'll start off, Mohammed, with you. A word's going to come up on the screen. You have to just say the word, and I'll tell you when I want to ask you, hey, what do you think that means? Okay, so one by one. Let's go with the first one.
Bussin'?
What do you think that means?
I have absolutely no idea. Bussin' to me means getting on a bus.
Bussin' is basically, it means like, hey, if something is very good, like for example, these cookies are bussin', or like this podcast is bussin'.
That's wrong.
All right, let's go to the next one. Amit, this is for you.
Oh my God, what is this? Kibidi toilet riz? Where the hell these words come from?
Honestly, I don't even know what this means. My kids in class say it all the time. I don't know.
All I know is toilet. I don't know about the rest of these two words.
Okay, very cool. All right, next one, Mohammed, for you.
Tongue, sahur? I don't know. Do I need to go out? Get some fresh air? I have no idea. I don't know.
It's something called Italian brain rot. It's taken over social media. It's just random words and sounds. You'll see more of it in a second. Next one for you.
Mewing. Oh, I heard this, but I can't recollect what the meaning is. But I'm thinking maybe frowning or cribbing something about it.
Close. It's something to do with your face. I'm going to make you guys go viral now. We're going to mew together. Okay, mewing is an action that kids do. So you're going to take your finger. It's appropriate, I promise. You can take your finger and you're going to look up, just look up towards me in the corner right here. Right? You put your finger right here. And I want you to just slide it and look at the camera there. That's the viral clip, guys. That's the one. Okay. Next one, Mohammed, for you.
Chopped. I don't know. Somebody's just got in trouble or something like that. Yeah.
That's a fair guess. I would assume the same thing. Chopped is ugly. That's chopped. Like I don't like that. That's chopped.
Okay.
Like my parents told me to come back home by 12 a.m. That's chopped. All right. Amit, next one for you.
Cappuccino assassino. Oh, okay.
That's
So
more.
Is it more about ruining something?
that's more of the Italian brain rot.
Oh, okay.
Italian slang. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next one for Mohammed.
Delulu?
Yeah. You can get this one. I believe in you.
Yeah?
What does it look like? What word?
Looks like Delilah. Deloitte. I don't know.
Delusional.
Delusional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like you're Delulu.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Like if Yakub is like, hey dad, like, can I eat 3 cookies? Like you're Delulu. You're not doing that. Right? Okay. All right. Amit, next one.
Pookie. I know cookie. Pookie. Yeah. No, I don't know. No idea.
I feel like you both have more game than I do, but
Oh, Pokemon.
no, not okay. More game as in like you guys are both married, obviously. Pookie means like cute, like hey, you're a Pookie, like you're cute. I love you, like I like you.
Oh.
So the
Okay.
you don't need to take advice from me. You guys are better than I am. But if you go home, you can tell your wife, hey, you're my Pookie.
Yeah, I won't be doing that.
Oh, so now Yakub would die. Okay, next one you for Amit. Oh, sorry, no, this is for Mohammed.
I can't even say that. Trelero, tralala.
You got it. That's more of that
I don't know,
Italian slang.
Shakespeare. I have no idea.
Close enough. It's Italian brain rot. Okay, we're almost done. Amit.
Sigma boy. Is it like a smart kid?
Sigma boy is like that guy. You know, like you're a Sigma. You're up there.
Yeah.
So it's Sigma. That's what it means.
I was close.
Yeah, close. That was pretty close. Okay, do we have any more? Let's see. There we go. That's that. Okay. Very cool. That was not bad, actually. Better than I expected to be. But that's a trend right now on TikTok.
really?
Everyone's getting their parents to say this, and they like fill their mouths with water, and they just like burst it out laughing. So thank you. I guarantee your kids are gonna love seeing that. Okay. All right. So let's hop into the next thing here. There's a small little segment I want to do before I get to more questions. Now, this segment is actually sponsored by Crumbs, which is a business that is run by a Bloom student. I'm so happy and proud when my students do cool things like this. So we give them the opportunity to obviously share their accomplishments. And you guys have cookies in front of you. So I want you guys to just open up your wrappers, take a cookie. All right. And this segment is called Take a Bite If You Have Ever Done This. Okay, so we're going to reveal some secrets now. All right, so take out the cookie. All right, I'm going to start off. Ready? So if you have done what I say, you have to just take a bite. No stories needed. Just take a bite and we'll move on. I promise. Okay?
Can we take a second bite?
You can if you do it too.
If we.
Okay, first one. Take a bite if you ever cheated on a test growing up.
On a test growing up?
Yeah. All right. Take a bite if you can tell me your kid's math teacher's name.
Yeah, I could do that.
Oh, yeah? I'm not going to let you go. What's the math teacher's name?
Mrs. Warner.
Okay.
I know her math class teacher name, Rita Mehta.
Okay. There we go. That's not bad. Oh, my God. I feel like my dad couldn't. Okay. Take a bite if you can remember a lie you told your parents while you were younger. I won't ask
Say
you.
that
I
again?
promise. If you told your parents lies while growing up.
Yeah.
Oh, your kids are going to love this. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Take a bite if you've said, I love you to your wife in the last week.
I need to go back home.
That was a big bite. It's okay. That's a rain check bite. You can go home and say it and she'll be happy. Take a bite if you think you had more fun than your kid growing up. Wow. We're going to get a sugar rush from this, guys. All right. Take a bite if you've ever thought in your life, I won't ask you, I promise, if you ever looked at another kid and said, thank God that's not my kid. Wow. This is tea, guys. I love it. Okay. Take a bite if your wife is the boss of your house. Not a big bite. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Take a bite let's say, for example, all your rebel stories as a kid, all the things you did that were a little edgy and things like that were put into a book, and take a bite if you would let your kids read that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, done it.
That was a hesitant bite. Okay. Well, the last one. Take your bite if you think this episode of yours is going to get more views than the one with your kids. Ooh.
Big one.
Oh, wow. There we go. Okay, awesome. And last bite, just as a shout out to our sponsor, Crumbs. Take a bite if these cookies were amazing. Do you guys like them?
Yeah.
Very cool.
They're amazing, delicious.
Very nice.
Very cool. Awesome. You guys can keep eating. I'm going to put mine away so I don't get carried away. Again, thank you, Crumbs, for sponsoring that portion of the podcast. Okay. Now, we talked a lot about parenting. Let's get into you guys. Okay. What is a piece of advice you would give to your 18-year-old self if you could go back and tell him that right now?
It's a tough one. So many things. Don't rush. Plan things out properly. Read the instruction manual. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Say like, don't be afraid of failure.
Okay.
Failure is always the stepping stone for success, as I always say. Like, it's like I'm a DJ, so I make my playlist. So always there are some songs which you want to skip.
Yeah.
There are some songs you always want to keep hearing back and back and back until you get rid of it, right? So yeah, so failure is the thing that don't be never afraid of.
Yeah, very cool. Do you think like people are very careful? Like, again, from my perspective, when I think about it right now, I'm in a spot of life where it's like, okay, like lock in, make as much money as possible, get as stable as you possibly can. And eventually like you get to a spot where, you know, you can use that to kind of slow down a little bit. And I know like, again, whenever I watch anything that's like, no, enjoy your life as you're going through it, it's going to pass by really fast. Like, is that what you mean by like embrace failure? Just do what you want to do, live your life as it is. Don't like think too much about the future.
No, not exactly in that sense, but it's like you have to always calculate your actions and the risks that you're taking. If you have given your 100% and still you fail, don't let that thing take you back, set you back. So keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You'll always learn from your failures. You will never learn if you're always been successful. So that's the main idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I spot on. Like, I don't think I can say anything, but take your time, have patience, be positive, and don't be afraid to take those steps. You have to try out new things in order for things to work or not to work. But if it didn't work, so what if it didn't work? You just pick yourself up and start again. As long as you tried your best, and I think that is probably the key thing, that you put your heart into something. Again, like times have changed. It's not the same as it was back in the days, you know, study, work, and, you know, all of that stuff. I think
Right.
education-wise, work has just changed. You know, even myself being here, I've been through many jobs myself. There's no job security as well. So it's just to be positive, right? There's always if a door closes, a couple of doors might open up, and to keep the options open.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool. And I mean, that's the thing, right? Like when you look back, you have more perspective on life altogether and you're able to kind of tell them to slow down. I guess that the best thing you can do now is just pass it on to the kids and hope they kind of live that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right. You know, one thing that people say a lot, this is actually funny, we're on that topic, but people say that parents sometimes try to live through their kids' experiences they couldn't live themselves.
Yeah.
So like, I'll let my kid do this, or I'll give my kid access to these things because I didn't have them and I want to see how it feels at that age and I'll live through them. Do you guys ever do that? Like, does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. It does. That whole Banff trip was one of them, right?
Yeah.
It was, I never really experienced that when I was a kid. And
yeah,
there were trips and here and, things and like that. But something like that, I was very hesitant for us. I was like, I don't know about that, But yeah, I think as parents today, we try to give them things that we did not experience when we were their age. And sometimes it's like, listen, I didn't do this when I was your age.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to do it. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because they have something else to do,
Yeah.
right? So Yeah, I mean, I think we try to. Yeah.
Agree. Yep.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like whether it's an experience, whether it's like something maybe even money can buy, maybe something that you weren't allowed to do that you know the kids can do at this age to get more experience. You give that so that you feel like you feel happy for them and you kind of live through that happiness, right? Yeah, cool, 100%, guys. So here, that's one thing. You know, growing up, I asked my kids this last time as well, but we have different things that we want to be, right? You guys are both in the IT field, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Is that what you wanted to do when you were growing up? Was that the first thought? What was the dream thing?
For me, again, when I was growing up, I really had no clue what I'm going to be, for sure.
Yeah.
But then there were situations that took me down the path of, during that age, the IT was actually just getting popular.
Yeah.
Everybody was started talking about computers and all, because it was around 90s and early 2000, right? So that's where then I started, let's give a try and see what happens. And and then it developed interest, passion towards it, and then that became my professional life.
Yeah. Very cool. What about you, Mohammed?
So my thing was a little bit different. I wanted to go into aeronautics.
Okay.
I had some experience in that when I was younger, just through family members working in the aeronautics industry. But then when it came to picking course selections and things like that, I had a passion for paleontology. So I wanted to go into paleontology.
Okay.
So I had consultations with my uncles, and they're like, "That's not going to earn you money. It's not going to, it's not going to bring anything." And the other option was IT. So one of my uncles, like a milestone for me was like going to the IT industry.
Yeah.
So, and IT is one of those industry where it's like up and down, right? And that's how I got into IT, and it's just where I am.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So look, you got here, and again, obviously you guys are probably happy in your careers, which I'm sure is the case. But let's say today, for example, I don't know, you win the lottery, money's not an object anymore, things are great. What do you do for a living? Do you continue coding or working on computers, or do you do something else with your time, 9 to 5?
I would pursue my passion, which is playing DJs.
Okay.
So yeah, I love music a lot. So that's where I used to spend a lot of time before, I would say before I become a dad. So, but then after that, lately I stopped spending time on music, being DJ. But then now that my kids are grown up, and that's where I've started bringing my hobbies and passions back, so that now I start planning for my future. So yeah, if it was not IT, I would have been in some form of music industry.
Okay. Yeah. That's very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, me personally, I'd probably like to travel around. I like to travel. I like to see different countries, different cultures, experience the local markets and sort of things like that. So I'd probably, if obviously money wasn't an issue,
Okay.
It's probably me.
It's very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I think we all have something that we would do if we didn't have to chase that dollar amount or whatever it is. Yeah, 100%. Okay. Now you guys have obviously grown up, and a lot of times when adults kind of look at kids, whether they're 6 years old, whether they're 18 or 25, whatever it is, a common saying is like, enjoy your childhood while it lasts. Like, savor all this. Don't grow up too fast. Like, be present in the moment. Why do parents say that?
It goes back to that same point you previously brought, right? Where there are things that we thought we could have done, which we did not. So we just want to make sure that they are living their childhood to the maximum possible extent that they can. And that's why at least for me, I would say, like, live your life what you can, but at the same time, know your boundaries and limits.
Yeah.
It comes down to time, right? Time doesn't come back. So I'm guilty of this. I've said to my kids that, enjoy the time that you have, because that time won't be coming back. It's irreplaceable. So it's, do the things that you want to do at this age, because we know later on in life, things and priorities change.
Yeah.
And we're talking from experience, and we just say, look, we did this, and this is going to be your time when it comes to it. You're going to be doing the same thing, but it's going to be different. So that's probably why.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that makes sense. I think that's the thing. I mean, you from that perspective, you can kind of zoom out and have that idea. Like, I'll tell you from my perspective, right? I'm 26 now, and I feel like, and not just me, all of my friends, we talk about this all the time, where it's like, I've grown up. I'm quote unquote, I'm an adult. I've been an adult for 8 years, but in my head and the things that I do, like day to day, I don't feel like, I feel like I'm still a kid in my head. Like, do you ever like, when's that switch of like, I'm now an adult? Like, do you ever get that, or are you still kids in your heads?
Again, I don't know. I mean, we lost that. At least from my side, we just have a scheduled routine life. We just need to carry out.
Yeah.
And forget about everything else.
Yeah, you're always a student, you know, depending on, especially in our fields, IT is, you're constantly upgrading yourself. You're constantly reading. You're constantly learning about new things. And I always let my kids know that you're always going to be teaching yourself something new that you didn't know the previous day. Do it in small steps, do it in large steps, whatever you want to do, but it's going to be a new experience.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. It's about parenting, where it's like, you kind of have this view of, you know, you're trying to pass on the best things possible to make sure they have the best life possible. That's all you care about as parents. It's, I think, doing that. Very cool. So here, we'll bring that down to our last question then for today. Obviously, you guys have had your own life experiences altogether. You've lived through highs and lows and everything. From your experience, if you could relive one moment from your life again, what would that moment be? Anything from birth to now, relive any one moment.
I would say my school life.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the company of my friends. And school life was the only life where you didn't have to worry much about your future. Just take things as it come along.
Yeah.
Final year of university.
Yeah.
Final year. Yep. 100%.
Why do you say that?
It was the most productive time of my life, but at the same time, it was the most social time of my life and the most family closest time as well. It was just... there was a lot going on, and university was great. The social aspect was great. Friends, hardworking. I was working as well part-time and spending time with the family. I think that was probably one of the best years.
Yeah. There we go. It's awesome. It's nice having that perspective, zooming out and looking back. And I guess, you know, I feel like if I ask you when maybe you're 60 or 70, you might say sometime right now that you're living, and that's why we just live in the present as much as we can. And
we'll talk about this podcast, right?
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Well, awesome, guys. Well, that's a wrap on another episode of Nothing Off Topic. Thank you guys both for being such incredible guests, taking out time on Father's Day weekend and spending it with me here. I'm super excited to post this and share with everybody. I think there's a lot of insightful things you shared with us. So again, thank you for everything. And anything else you guys want to say before I wrap it up?
Oh, thanks for inviting us.
Yep.
It was really an exciting conversation.
Yeah.
I've never been experienced to this podcast before.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
thank you
thanks
very
for
much.
giving the opportunity.
Yeah. You
Same
guys
here.
are.
Thank you very much. And this episode will get a lot more reviews.
Absolutely.
Then those two, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
All right. That'll be a competition we'll see right after this. So again, thank you guys so much for your time. And everybody here watching, thank you so much for taking time again for watching. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing, the support that you guys have online. Please let us know how we can keep improving, having overall better podcast experience for you guys. And a final shout out to our sponsor, Bloom Youth Development. Please go check out their page, the work that we do for youth. The idea is to make sure they're learning the right soft skills, having the right skills as they get older. And this is just one of many ways how we want to do that, by getting insight from parents like you guys. So until next time, thank you for watching Nothing Off Topic. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.